The year 2024 is almost upon us, and with that, so are more games you can play in the early hours of the morning or bash our controllers in anger. From Alone in the Dark, set to release in February 1st, to Payday, Crime War of the same month, we have options on options, guys. However, there is one game that you might want to keep your eyes on after the new year. And yes, since you clicked on this video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In 2013, we were given The Wolf Among Us by Telltale Games. And in that 5 episodic style game, we play as Bigby, or better known as the Big Bad Wolf from Little Red Riding Hood. Anyway, you're the big bad sheriff of Fabletown, and it's a place where there is no such thing as a happy ending. Yes, we saw our characters like Lovely, Beauty, and the Beast get a happy ending, but this does not apply here. The Wolf Among Us 2, of course, carries that same premise of you being the sheriff in a comic book style game. This game was actually set to be released this year, but earlier this year in March 1st, the release date was delayed to 2024. Many, however, were super bummed out. The delay was due to them wanting to avoid burnout to their employees, and I'm honestly okay with this. I understand many people hate it when their highly anticipated game gets delayed, especially if it's another possible full year. Yet, if I have to wait another year to possibly get a better gaming experience, then I'm totally fine with it. Think about how many times we've received games in poor conditions because the employees were severely overworked. I, for one, don't want them to have a horrible time making a game that we're going to enjoy. It's when crunch happens for the devs in order to get something out on a very specific time frame, the game suffers. We've seen that with numerous games in the past, and honestly, it would be nice not to continue seeing that in the future. But however, this does bring into the question, why did the trailer have the date for 2023 when just 2 months later they would announce a delay? And honestly, I think at this point, a lot of gaming companies just shouldn't release a solid date frame. They should just put if it's let's just say I'm making a game and I'm thinking about releasing it in the year, I'm trying to make, brainstorm a very, a typical time frame. Okay, so let's just say I'm thinking about releasing it in 2027. Well, I'm going to want to say, mostly for 2028 or 2029. So I'm going to shoot for 1 year up or the next year within those time frames. So if it actually does come out in 2027, hey, they'll be even more excited. You don't know. But I think instead of a full, saying, oh, it's going to come out this year, this day, I don't think companies should do that anymore. I think that's just setting yourself up at this point to at a certain point to eventually delay your game. Because at this point, we are so used to gaming companies saying, oh, a delay is happening. We're going to release it in so and so many months. Or we're going to release it next year. Or we're going to release it so and so. But it's going to be delayed. I believe Cyberpunk was delayed twice, if I remember correctly. I possibly don't remember correctly. But look, it was delayed. And look how much of a mess that game was at first launch. I understand that now it is a really good game, which if you guys haven't seen my video on that, please click on the little card above. However, yes, it turned into a really good game. However, wouldn't that have been better if there wasn't such a crunch time to get this done on a specific day? I think just putting it further on than expected to complete it, and then if it's done earlier than expected, then that's great. But I don't think you should have a solid release date for a game anymore. I just really don't think they should do that, because it's providing a certain amount of expectation. And if you don't do that, then a lot of the customers honestly get really salty about it. I've read a lot of people get super salty about The Wolf Among Us being delayed for another year. Like I said, I myself don't really care about it, but a lot of people surprisingly do. And I don't blame them, but at the same time, it's just like you got to look at it through the devs' perspective. They do a massive work already, and just to expect so much more of them would be completely ridiculous, in my opinion. However, while we wait, we might as well look once more into the trailer released a year ago and put our own detective hats on. Now, in The Wolf Among Us, it takes place in 1986 in New York, Manhattan. In those 5 episodic game series, we never see Little Red Riding Hood. Okay, she is only mentioned a couple of times, but she is never actually seen. I believe the woodsman comments on her whenever he reveals why he was actually going to her grandmother's house, and then she is mentioned once more by, I believe it was Bigby himself, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a long time since I played it. But anyway, now in the Wolf Among Us 2 trailer, we see this mysterious woman basically just chilling on the couch while Bigby starts fighting and making a wreck of everything in the back. Now, I was first thinking, could this actually be Little Red Riding Hood? Or could this be Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz? This honestly would make more sense since we see Scarecrow and the Tin Man. Tin Man. Actually, now that I think about it, why the heck would Little Red Riding Hood be hanging out with brainless Scarecrow or the heartless Tin Man? What the hell was I thinking? Listen, I love the fact that they made Tin Man violent, at least in the trailer he's violent, and they basically made Scarecrow into a pothead, which for some people they say it makes you brainless. I doubt it though, but that's what some people say. But if that's Dorothy, it just makes me wonder, where the heck is the Cowardly Lion? I highly doubt he was the reason for Bigby finally getting a break on his investigation. I do hope we see him sooner or later within the actual game, hopefully within the first episode or within the second one. But I do hope we see him before we see these 3, people that we saw in the trailer. I mean, there was such a tight-knit group, and the fact that the Cowardly Lion isn't even shown here, it's just Tin Man and Scarecrow and possibly Dorothy. I really do think it's Dorothy now, considering of her pigtails that are just in braids. I don't know, it just screams Dorothy to me. Like, there's no place like home, but now it's like there's no place like this couch, Please tell me, who do you think it is? Could being home have made Dorothy rethink peace? Or did Little Red Riding Hood finally decide not to be the damsel in distress? Which gives me Scooby-Doo Spooky Island flashbacks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Also, I really do like the fact that we get snippets of Bigby interacting with regular humans. This does make me wonder, however, if we're seeing something that is in the beginning of the game or at the very climax of the game, which obviously is going to happen after the fight because, of what is being said within the trailer, which also makes me wonder the positioning of this whole, argument or thereof, altercation. Also would be interesting to know the current state of the glamour black market, since in the first game, it was known that it was a huge problem, considering that I believe Toad said, yes, the prices go up, 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 but the glamour actually tends to go down, like the quality of it. And I remember he was complaining about like, oh, do you know how much it costs to have a full family in glamour? So I can't imagine it be all that, relatively, essentially affordable. I have watched this trailer so many times throughout the year. Yes, throughout the year, okay? I have no idea what to expect, but I just want to say that I totally want Snow White and Bigby to couple up. Listen, I just think it would be cute, okay? And honestly reminds me that I have never even finished playing the first game of The Wolf Among Us, and honestly, I think I might just do that before the new one pops up, which could be sometime next year. And according to some people, they're thinking that the episodes will be separated from like a 2 week period. Like we'll get one, for example, like today, and 2 weeks later, we'll have another episode. That seems more logical than anything else. I don't know still if they need more time for in between each episode. I'm more than okay with it. I rather have a good game than a messy one where I could hardly play or enjoy. And I rather the devs have so much enjoyment making the game as well. Anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching. By the time this video goes out, it should be after Thanksgiving, and I hope you had a wonderful one with your family if you celebrate Thanksgiving. If you don't, I still hope you had a fabulous, fabulous week. As of recording this, I am editing my Marvel's Avengers video, so yes, I have more content coming out for you guys. Let me know what other games you want me to play, or let me know in the comment section what you would like for me to talk about in the upcoming. Remember, I am talking about news, I'm talking about upcoming games, and I am even doing reviews or deep dives on anything game related. So let me know what you think about The Wolf Among Us 2. Are you excited for it? Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate the heck out of you, and bye.